Shanti. In the Murli today, Baba talks about, Baba says, to know the Father and to say Baba from your heart is the biggest speciality. So, in the world, we always make a note of whether someone has specialities or not. So, we say this one is gifted and this one has specialities and I have these specialities. But today Baba defines what a speciality is. And Baba says, any human, any soul, if you look at it in the context of a soul, the biggest speciality is to know the Father and say Baba from your heart. Now, we need to understand this well. So first thing is, there are many in bhakti who call out to God from their heart. Yes, there are many in bhakti who really call out to God from their heart. But the interesting thing is, they don't know who they are calling out to. And sometimes in the Murli, Baba says, you are calling out to the death of deaths. Yes, so in Hinduism we say Shiv is Mahakal. So one who will take everybody back, you are calling out to him, Baba says. And then if you are afraid of death, can you call out to the death of deaths? But this is the beautiful thing about not knowing. So, we don't know anything about Baba. We don't know about why Baba comes, what he does. And still, in bhakti, we keep calling out to Baba from all our heart. And then here Baba comes and Baba introduces himself to us. And to whatever he does, whatever he says, whatever he wants us to do. And after knowing Baba very well, so knowing Baba as he is, do you call out to Baba from your heart? Because now it's not a question of saying God, it's a question of saying Baba. Now, what does it mean when we say Baba from the heart? So, Baba means, when you say Baba from the heart, it means I completely submit to your authority. Yes, so just like a child, is there a law that a child has to do as the parent says? It's an unsaid law. Yes, it's an unsaid, unwritten law. So you don't go to the court and contest it. Yes, it's an unsaid, unwritten law that the child does everything that the parent says. And the child completely submits to the authority of the parent. And Baba says, you the soul, when you know me very well, it's not an act of deception that Baba just comes and makes you submit to his authority without telling you what he wants from you. So Baba says, I tell you everything about myself. about my directions, about my opinion, about who I am, about what I want you to do, who I want you to be, and also what you will get by belonging to me. And then when you know everything, and then you call Baba from the heart, say Baba from the heart, and you completely submit to Baba's authority, you become an obedient child who does as he says. That's the biggest speciality that a human soul can have. And if a human soul has this speciality, then he becomes full of specialities. So now you just need this one speciality of complete surrender to Baba after knowing what he wants. Yes, and then surrender also, practical surrender, it's not like saying something and doing something else. It's not like the promise you make on 1st January. So, the New Year resolution, which is broken the next day, it's not like that. So, it's a lifelong commitment to be who Baba wants us to be, do as Baba wants us to do. And when you do that, this is the biggest speciality. And this will fill you with every other speciality that anyone can ever have. And I talk about this from experience. So you don't need anything else, any speciality, any virtue, even if you are like, you have nothing else with you. Baba will make you the master of the world. And Baba says this is the one biggest speciality that a human soul needs. So, are you that special soul? Yes, who knows Baba and surrenders to Baba completely. Yes, says Baba from the heart. Yes, so are you that soul, special soul? Who amongst you is that special soul? Yes. Okay, some don't know. Yes, some don't know that who Baba is, and they say we belong, but they don't. And some, yes, they understand Baba and then belong. So understand Baba as he is, who he is, what he says, and then surrender. And when I came to Baba, I slowly started knowing what Baba talks about. And then one day I told Santosh Bhai, do you know what Baba wants? So do you even understand what you are going into? So I made him sit and I had this conversation and I said, do you know Baba wants us to die? So he just wants us to die, die from everything. And then, so, so I had figured out very soon that he wants us to die from this old world, from this, everything that you call is yours or you because of who you think you are. And then, Santosh Bhai told me that, yes, only when you die you can have a new life. And how can you have a new life without dying? So obviously he's asking you to die. What's so wrong with that? So then I thought about it. Okay, it's a good idea to die. You can have a good life and new life. And then this surrender, because in bhakti also we say, if you don't die you can't see heaven. Bina mare swarg nahi dekhte. है ना? So if you don't die you don't see heaven. But I didn't know it is not about physical death. It is about ego death. Yes, it is not, you don't die physically and see heaven. If you just physically die, you don't end up in heaven. So this is an ego death, and ego is about this whole set of identification with this old world which gives you a sense of who you are and what you have and what you do. And when you die from all of that and you take what Baba gives you as the new introduction to who you are and what you have and what you do, then you get to see heaven. And you have to have this one birth, which is a, a marjiva janam, which is a life of ego death. So you have to live this one birth without any sense of identification with the old world, and then you get to see heaven. And there is something in the Murli which is also connected to this, and it's very interesting. And Baba says, sit on the pyre of knowledge and I will take you back with me. So this, so because, I just started talking about this death and ego death. So there is this interesting thing that Baba says, which is sit on the pyre of knowledge, Gyan Chitta, and I will take you back with me. So you see, people put the bodies on the pyre, yes, but the destination of the soul doesn't change because of that. So even when the body is put on the pyre of fire, since still the soul will only go to a destination which is pre-decided according to its karma. But if the soul sits on the pyre of knowledge, then you can fly with Baba. So you have to sit, and when the soul sits on the pyre of knowledge, then all that is not knowledge has to burn away. So all the agyan and all the belief systems and everything that you thought was true before knowledge has to just burn away. And then you go with Baba. So it's a very beautiful expression of how you sit on the pyre of knowledge, and then after sitting on the pyre of knowledge, you can go back with Baba. And then there is in the blessing also, Baba is talking about something that needs a little reflection. So in the blessing, Baba says, may you follow every order. So Baba is not addressing his Shrimat as direction today. Baba says, my Shrimat is like an order, farman. And Baba says, may you follow every order, whether physical or subtle, and become completely obedient to the Father. So these two words are connected, Father and obedience. So with the Father, you have to be obedient. And what is the sign of obedience to the highest authority? That you follow every order that he gives, whether it is a physical order or a subtle order. Now, what are the physical orders? So orders about physical conduct and subtle conduct that Baba gives. Now, this is something you have to understand a little deeply. So let's listen to it first. Baba says, the children who are obedient in following subtle order develop the power to follow the physical order. The subtle and main order is constantly stay in remembrance and become pure in your thought, words, and deeds. Now you see that Baba says there are two types of orders Baba gives. One is the physical orders, and the second is the subtle orders. And in the subtle orders, Baba says there are two things. First, stay in remembrance constantly. And the second subtle order is practice purity in thoughts, words, and deeds. Now, purity in deeds is a physical thing, right? Yes, but it's a subtle order. It's not a physical order. because it determines your stage. So even physical purity or celibacy is amongst the subtle orders that Baba gives. So even if you're practicing it physically, it is connected to your subtle stage. So first the subtle stage has to be strengthened so that you can follow the physical directions. So there are two things which determine your subtle stage. First is constant remembrance of Baba, and second is purity in thoughts, words, and deeds. And Baba says, first the subtle orders have to be followed. Let there not be any impurity or uncleanliness in your thoughts. If your old, impure sanskars touch your thoughts, you cannot be called perfect Vaishnavas or completely pure. So do not have a single thought without following the orders. You would then be called one who is completely obedient. Now, here I would also like to talk about physical orders. So, what are the physical orders? So, like Baba says, don't speak any bitter words, okay? Or don't engage in any act of violence or giving sorrow, or don't steal, or don't tell a lie. Now, even if you decide, I don't want to tell a lie today, you will end up telling lie if there is not enough power of remembrance or purity. Okay, so if there is the power of remembrance and the power of purity, then the do's and don'ts can be adhered to. Yes, and the physical do's and don'ts and the power to stick to those do's and don'ts is completely dependent on how much we follow the subtle directions. Okay, so this is the important thing that Baba says today. And in the Murli, Baba says that I am your Supreme Father, Supreme Teacher, and Supreme Satguru. And today, and Baba says another important thing in the Murli, which is, you are the hero actors. So, in the whole cycle, you are the hero actors. So, while I was reading the Murli today, I really felt that, there is so much of, so many parents in the world, you see, yes? And, every child has two parents, a mother and a father. So one child and one mother, one father, everybody gets. Yes? Mostly, yes, at least mostly, normally, we have a mother and a father for every child. And then every child has so many teachers. Right from school, you start getting teachers, and on Teachers' Day, you have such a big list. So there are several teachers who taught you, and then there is Satgurus. So there are gurus, which most people, they have gurus also. And yet, in this whole world, there is so much that a child needs which cannot be provided by any parent. And then there are so many questions that all these teachers together are not able to answer. And then everybody goes to the Guru to get mukti or to get sukh shanti, but nobody gets it. And this is why, and we submit to these authorities. It is so interesting that according to our conditioning, it is so inbuilt in us that In case of physical parents, teachers, and Satgurus, we totally submit. I have seen people who tell me that my guru has asked not to go to Brahma Kumari, so I can't come. We submit so much to these authorities. We completely, my parents say this or my teacher has said this, and we totally listen to them and do as they say. And they cannot give us anything. And then Baba comes and says that, you see, I am the true parent, one who can give you all that you need. I am the true teacher who will answer every question, even raise the questions which people have not trained you to ask. Yes, and I will answer every question that possibly can be a question in the universe. And I am the true Satguru who will take you back. But we will first talk about the Satguru part. But Baba says that, you are with a Satguru, you have the relationship of a follower. Yes, people say, I follow this Guru. But Baba says this whole thing about gurus in the world is so interesting that neither the disciple follows the Guru nor the Guru takes them back, because the disciple engages in impurity, whereas the Guru leads a pure life. Yes, so nobody follows the Guru. We are supposedly followers, but we don't follow the Guru. And then the Guru also doesn't fulfill the promise of taking us back. Yes. So the Guru is a sannyasi, the follower is a grihasti. The Guru leaves the home and then the follower continues in his grihastha vyavhar. And then the Guru also doesn't fulfill the promise of taking you back. Now Baba here says, both these things have to change. Baba says, you also have to follow me and I will take you back. So I am the true Satguru and you have to be the true follower of both, of Shiv Baba and Brahma Baba. So you have to be like Shiv Baba and do as Brahma Baba does. Yes. Now, how do you first, in order to do as Brahma Baba does, you have to know what Brahma Baba did. Yes, so what did Brahma Baba do? Brahma Baba embraced complete purity, made the highest effort to stay in remembrance, and became a totally surrendered instrument for Baba's task with all his body, mind, and wealth. Yes, and that's how he became pure. And Baba says, if you follow me, if you follow Brahma Baba, both, then you will become completely pure. And purity is the only way to cross the fire of destruction. So you remember that Sita was tested like this. So Sita was put on the, Sita was made to cross the fire. And this destruction that's coming, that's the great test. And if you want to cross that test, it can only be done by the power of purity. So Baba says, I am telling you the secrets of the Ramayana you have been studying. And you are the Sita. And if you want to really cross the fire of destruction, then you have to follow me and you have to follow Brahma Baba. Do as I say and do as he did. So, as Baba says you have to do, because Shiv Baba is incorporeal. And in action, you have to do as Brahma Baba did. And then you will be purified And that's how you cross the pyre of destruction or the fire of destruction and not get burnt. Now, sometimes I think about Brahma Baba, and do you know at what age Shiv Baba entered Brahma Baba's body? At the age of 60. That's the time most people retire. And then Shiv Baba gave him a job of world transformation at that age. And Brahma Baba never told Shiv Baba, "Can't you see I'm very old to do this?" So he surrendered his body. So, he didn't even have the consciousness of his age or the physical discomfort that comes with age. He just said, "Whoever I am, whatever I am, I belong to you. My body belongs to you." Then his mind, he just surrendered. Even when Brahma Baba was in the bathroom, he used to keep writing, Main Atma hu, on the walls, because he didn't even spend one thought without Baba's Srimad. So he totally used every thought to just create the thought that Baba gave him to create. And he used every method to practice staying in remembrance. And wealth, complete wealth. So, Brahma Baba was a rich man according to the society, and he had wealth enough to feed 400 souls, brothers and sisters, for 14 years. So just imagine how much wealth he had, and he surrendered everything to Shiv Baba for this task. So Baba says that the only way to sanctify is to sacrifice. So, sacrifice comes from the word to make sacred. So Brahma Baba sacrificed to make sacred, to become pure. So Baba says, do as I say and do as he did, and that's how you become pure, and that's how you will become eligible to go back with me. And I am the true Satguru. If you truly follow me, I will fulfill my promise of taking you back. And then Baba says, I am the true teacher. And it's so interesting that in this whole world, there are only three things: souls, matter, and God. This whole universe is made of just three things: souls, matter, and God. And all of humanity and all of humanity's efforts have just been able to know a part of matter. Yes. Matter also, the 5 elements of matter have not been completely decoded by all of humanity's efforts. And, there is this new wisdom that's coming in science also, and they are talking about the effect of consciousness on matter. Yes, and they are talking about, so there is the double slit experiment which you can check on internet, and they are talking about how the one who is seeing is affecting what is seen. So, atoms behave differently when there is an onlooker and when there is no onlooker. So science has started recognizing this, and it's so interesting that even the behavior of matter cannot be completely understood without understanding consciousness. And now science has also started recognizing it. So it is so interesting that since 2500 years we have been trying tooth and nail to understand the laws and how everything is working. And then nobody knows anything about the soul or about God. Nobody knows anything about consciousness or the supreme consciousness. And Baba says that I am the supreme teacher who teaches you about me and about you. And then I also teach you the connection between you and matter. And then the biggest thing that Baba teaches us is how you can shift the world by shifting how you are and how you are being. So, your state of being, when you are restored to your purity, that's how the world becomes a pure world. So, Baba says, all this study and research and everything that human beings do is doesn't lead to these two links, consciousness and supreme consciousness. And then if you don't understand that, understanding anything else doesn't matter, because everything else, all the five elements of matter, are affected by consciousness. And Baba says that's why I am the supreme teacher and you have to listen to me first. And this is why Baba says, know that I am the supreme teacher. Nobody else is a teacher, because nobody else can really teach you the truth that I can. And in today's Murli, Baba talks about many things that, that we use in day-to-day vocabulary. And you see today Baba says that people, they burn Ravan, and they don't know who Ravan is. And then in Ajmer, they build a model of Swarg. So in Ajmer, very close to the railway station, there is a model of Golden Age. And in that model, they have created, golden palaces and models of golden buildings and everything is golden. But the creator doesn't know that it corresponds to a reality. Yes, they have made a model, but they have no idea that it corresponds to a reality. And actually, on this very earth, we will have a world where these golden and diamond-laden buildings and palaces will exist. And I remember when I was studying economics, we used to study about utopian society. And I used to ask my teacher, where is this utopian society? So, we use these words, paradise, heaven, Bahisht, Jannat, utopia, El Dorado. We use these terms they have a place in your dictionary. But nobody can tell you what they mean actually, or what is the connotation of it, or what are the details of that world, or when it exists, or how it can be created. And then Baba today says that I give you the details of what heaven is, and I tell you that there is a reality corresponding to these words that you use in the English language or any other language. In every language, such a word exists. And then Baba says that I not only give you the details, I also teach you the method how to create it back. So I am the supreme teacher. And then Baba says, you see that everybody talks about God, and people build temples and write scriptures for God, but they don't know who is that God and why are they building temples for him. And then Baba says that now you know who is that God and what does he do for you that inspires you to make such big temples for him. And I tell you, You are the ones who are practically seeing that act of God play out in reality, in real time. And how God takes us and, mentors us, guides us, nourishes us, fills us with love and knowledge and everything. And then Baba says that people say God is the ocean of knowledge, but you ask them, what knowledge? No idea. So, does God teach physics or chemistry or biology or what? No idea. So, what is the knowledge that Baba gives? So, Baba says, I give you the knowledge of the knowledge I give. And then Baba says, so people have no idea about why they are doing what they are doing. And Baba says, they bring a plant which has parasite on it, which is yellow in color. And in South India, they burn that, and then they think that, and then they take that plant, and then they think that they burnt Ravan and took away the golden world. So, Lanka was considered to be golden. So, they take the parasite infected plant and they think that this is the golden age that they are taking away with them. So, they burnt Ravan and Lanka loot li unhone. Yes. So, they took away Lanka. Now, Baba says they don't understand that when actually Ravan gets burned, which is you do away with the vices, then you get a practical golden aged world which is called Lanka. So, why Lanka was shown to be golden, created of gold, is because Baba actually, when Ravan gets finished, then you become the masters of a world that is filled with gold. So Baba says, I am the supreme teacher who tells you all of this. And then Baba says, I am the father. And today Baba says that I don't teach you what they teach you in bhakti. So your relationship with me is not one of God and Bhagat. It is of the child and parent. And Baba says, do you go and bow down in front of your father? Or you chant his name? Or you touch his feet and put garland around his neck? So Baba says, a child remembers the father. Now, do you keep chanting your father's name overtly or inwardly? No, nothing you do, right? You don't keep chanting your father's name, physical father's name. You know how to remember him with the heart. And Baba says, my relationship with you is that of a parent and a child. So you don't need to chant my name either overtly or inwardly. Sometimes there are children who in bhakti who don't chant the name, they don't chant it with loud noise, but they do it inside. So they just keep chanting on the inside, Ram, 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 Ram. So there's no noise, but that constant name is being chanted. Now Baba says, you don't need to do any of this for me, because just like you don't chant your parents' name, you don't have to chant my name. You have to remember me, just like a child knows this is my parent and feels the love of the parent and surrenders to the direction of the parent. That's how my relationship with you ought to be. So Baba says, you don't need to now break away from the practice of bhakti and your orientation in bhakti, which tells you to do this stuff which you did when you thought you were a bhagat and he is God. Now you don't do all of that. You don't need to touch the feet. You don't need to do any of this stuff. You just have to remember me like you remember your parent. Yes, and know that I'm your parent. And when you know that, you feel the love, you feel the presence, you feel the protection, you feel the nourishment that Baba gives you. And today I was also thinking about this one thing, that when Baba says that you don't touch my feet. So, there was this one woman who came to the center and she was touching my feet. And then I said, no, no, you don't have to touch the feet. You are a soul, I'm a soul. And she got really offended. She thought that maybe she's not eligible or pure enough to touch the feet. So I stopped her from touching the feet, and she got upset and she went away. And you see that bhakti is so drilled into us that we don't even understand that when Baba says, "Don't touch my feet, you belong to the heart, not to the feet," it's a sign of elevation. So, bhakti instills into us the desire to stay low. So this is so interesting, and today's Murli is full of gems. So read the whole Murli with a lot of love and with attention and in silence. So Om Shanti.